Hey, how's it going? Uh, New episode here at the Pancreatic Cancer Channel. This one is about my biopsy and my nerve block and my current status. So prior to all this, a quick recap. I have had pancreatic cancer for just a little over a year. And they did two biopsies, but they didn't get enough material to figure out the genome of my cancer. And it's funny because I've gone through this trial and I just quit this trial, and my doctor's like, I'm kind of, miffed that we didn't get, enough material to figure out what the genome of your cancer is, because here we are a year later and we still don't know what it is. And yeah, so I don't know why they didn't get enough. It's kind of weird. I will say that I've been in this trial, and in the course of that time, I also got contacted by other people in the research center that would say, hey, I'm with blah, blah, blah trial, and we're doing tests on this and that, and we're wondering if we can have samples of some of your cancer. And so my typical response was, yes, of course you can, because I want to help other people. It could be that actually they took too much, or I gave too much away, which is my fault. So I don't know if that's the truth, but I surmise that it could be possibly have an effect on it. So anyway, so I was in this trial. It was an immunotherapy trial. 60% of people get immunotherapy, 40% get chemotherapy. When I spun the wheel, I got the chemotherapy side. So I've been doing chemotherapy, and I've done all the pancreatic cancer chemotherapies, and now I'm done. I've done them all. They kind of helped for a while. Now it doesn't help at all anymore. So that's it. Now I'm available. I can get into the immunotherapy side, but I'll have to tell you that when they told me what it requires to do that, I'm just like, no way, I don't want to do that level of commitment. It's too insane. It's too much of my time. It's too much of a hassle. And I think my quality of life will go down. And by that means, it's the time I have with my friends, family, spending, like living normally. That matters big time. And it's important. And I think it also has an effect on how long you live and your physical condition. Like, I actually believe in mind power, and the fact that how we live and our mindset and everything really has a lot to do with how long we live. So the other thing about that immunotherapy is, when I read in the paper, and it's because lots of people are doing immunotherapy, and all the people I know who've done it have had great results, and then it goes, it takes like a 90-degree turn, and it goes straight down, and that's a bummer for them. But it also made me, gave me pause and made me think, like, well, maybe it's not such a great thing. Maybe it's not the panacea that I thought it was when I initially got this, being that I didn't know anything about it like this. So I'm done with chemotherapy. Now that I'm out of that trial, they're going to try an off-the-shelf thing, which are these other therapies that weren't necessarily, I think, for pancreatic cancer, but they had some results, so they think these might be some possibilities. So it's a little bit of a kind of hit or miss thing with these new medicines and things that they're developing, which is great. I'm going to go talk to people at these different groups and see if the commitment level is what I want to do or not, and then decide whether to do it. I think there's like one or two that my doctor had said are probably within that realm of what my tolerance and interest are. So aside from that, we still have the issue of the biopsy, and the fact that I have been having all kinds of crazy pain that they couldn't find out where my pain was, pain that has been through the roof, and so much that the majority of my day was spent in pain and dealing with pain and kind of suffering it. I mean, I went so far as that the art that I make, I just like stopped working on my art, and I started doing little tiny drawings, and they're all about terrible pain. Pain that's like a mythical pain. When people tell you that pancreatic cancer is painful, they'll talk about bone pain, and they'll say that that's like one of the worst. And you'll experience all these levels of pain, and at times you'll say, I'm in a level 10 pain, and you are. And you'll feel it, and it's just so it's demoralizing, it's taxing on your physical being. It's this thing that is just the worst. But you'll also discover that pancreatic cancer, the pain keeps getting worse. So you just keep experiencing higher and higher levels of pain, depths that you never thought were possible. And it's like stuff that's written about in literature. Um, I've read things where things like, Greek mythology, the guy who gave fire to humans, he was punished by the gods by being like, I think it was tied up to a rock, and his liver or something, kidney or whatever, was eaten out every day by vultures, and then he would be renewed each morning and it would start all over again. That's the kind of pain I'm talking about. Something where you feel like you just, each day, you're kind of living out this new thing that is beyond the physical world. And by that I mean that it consumes you so much, and it's in your mind, that your body is just this receptacle for it, but your head constantly is dealing with these increasing levels. And I hope you don't have to experience it the way I have, because what I have been going through is so terrible and it's all consuming. And I just think about like, oh, at some point I just want to stop this. Like, I'm just going to stop eating and lay down and, hope that this finally goes away. And those are terrible thoughts to have. So I've been working with a pain management group, and they're really good, because if you don't have that, talk to your doctor and see if you can get that, because while you're still able to walk around, while you're still able to move to some degree where you are happy with whatever you have, you can find places where you can exist and be happy and be okay, and kind of escape that pain. And that's what I look for each day, right? Those couple of hours or those 15 minutes or wherever I can have that, because that's where I become fulfilled, and then I start to live my life in a normal way. Usually I spend that time going and seeing friends or talking to friends on the phone, because it's that interaction. When you're in pain, you can't interact with people. It's just, don't answer the phone when you're in pain. Don't answer the door when you're in pain. Answer the phone and just tell them, hey, I'm really having a bad day. Check on me later, or something like that. But don't think that you can have a conversation, because you can't. It's crazy trying to do it. I've tried it, and the feedback later on is like, I couldn't understand you, and you were like, you just kind of go in and out of reality, because you take so much energy to deal with that. So that's something you're going to have to work out. Back to the biopsy. So I get this third biopsy yesterday, and I went in, and of course I have this arm pain and bone pain that encompasses this whole left side of me. And it's horrible. It's like swords and spears stuck in my body, and just continuously, this litany of stabbings. And it's like, I don't even know what to say. It's just this long list of horrible things happening, one after the other, and they all hurt. So I go in there, and I'm concerned about the fact that just being there, just laying down on that gurney was painful. And anyway, the doctors are all really nice. We figure things out, and they're going to do this biopsy, and then they're also going to do the nerve block. The doctor explains the nerve block to me. So we go in there, we get it done, and I get out of that operation. I've had multiple operations, because I did martial arts, and I busted up my knees, my elbows. And I always would go into these operations, and it's kind of like a dream thing. Like, you go in there, and they knock you out, and you're like living in dream world, and you wake up, and you're like, oh, it's all over. And they're telling you to breathe, and they're trying to get the anesthesia out of you. And then you go home, and you're all happy, and then things wear off, and you're like, oh, I'm sore. But with this one, I woke up, and I felt like I had just been breathing in there. I felt terrible. I never felt so bad. And I thought, oh, nothing worked. It didn't work. So when I was, as soon as I was able to stand, I got out of there. It was just that, it was that kind of movie scene where you're in the hospital and you wake up and they rip the things off of them and they try to run out. That was me, because I was just like, get me out of here. Even though I was in no condition to be moving around. Anyway, my friend got me here and got me some Mexican chicken soup, and I ate a half cup, literally, like that much, little cup. It was full. I hadn't eaten anything that whole day, but man, let me tell you, that half a cup filled me to the brim. And then I tried sleeping, and that was hard. So I stayed up as long as I could until I was completely exhausted. And then I didn't have a choice, but I passed out, because what do you do? The body shuts down. And then I woke up today, and I was like, maybe not so bad. And little by little, I realized that I took a little less pain medicine than I took before. I have patches that I'm on. I have some breakthrough pills. And I noticed that I did less. And I think that nerve block worked. At least, knock on wood, for today. I'm hoping that it lasts forever, which is whatever forever is, for the rest of my life. Give me a year, 2 years, it'd be great. But yeah, it did. I think it did, because it helped. Now, did it take everything away? No. But did it take that big edge off? I think it did. Today was a great day. And I still have my decreased movement in my left arm, shoulder, and I tried to pick up a little teeny stack of records, and I was like, ah. But beyond that, there was some improvement. And I'll take any amount of improvement. This much improvement I'll take. Because to me, it's a big win. So, hooray for the nerve block. If you get a chance to do that, I say try it. And I'll tell you something, the doctors, the risk, I think, are much lower than the possible gains. And the possible gains are like, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. I think in this case it did work, so I'm like, oh, so grateful for that. The other thing is they took the biopsy, and I'm hoping that they call me and say they got enough, because it'd be nice to know what kind of cancer I'm at. But for now, I finally got a little bit of a win in this cancer, aside from the fact that I'm past a year, and let's face it, most people with pancreatic cancer don't last a year. And this thing is still working, and so yeah, that's a good thing. So if you get a chance for a nerve block, do it. And always keep your mind going that you're going to survive. A few other things is, look, my hair got kind of thin when I was doing that chemotherapy, but it never fell out. That was something they were telling me all along. It's like, oh yeah, your hair is going to fall out. This one for sure. This one for sure. It doesn't have to happen. I think I actually willed my hair to stay in my head. For one little short while, a few months ago, I shaved my head because I thought it's going to fall out. So I shaved it, which actually was kind of cool because I liked having my head shaved. It's kind of a cool thing. You use no shampoo, you use very little water. When you get out of the shower, you like go in the shower and you like wash your head and everything, and then you go like this. And your head's magically dry. So that's cool. Anyway, the thing I'm trying to impress upon you is that anything is possible. I was supposed to have all kinds of things happen to me through those chemotherapies, and none of them happened. Hopefully they still won't happen. But I had other complications, but the hair and the nails and a lot of the pains that were supposed to come, they didn't come. And I always kept telling the doctors that I was in denial. denial that I had cancer. And I have to say, with this pain, it kind of broke my will. You know, it was kind of telling me, no, you do have cancer. You know, it's like, it's going to beat you down. And I've taken some beatings. I'm going to do another video in just a minute that has the drawings because, you know, they always ask you, like, what's your pain level? You know, what are you, da-da-da. So I took to drawing my pain levels because I was so bad. And I'll tell you what, the next drawing I do is not going to be like this because things have changed. But before that biopsy, I'll show you one of the last drawings that I did. This one was me talking to the sun, me talking to a saint. And this will show you the pain level that I was in that day. Pretty crazy. As you can see, every part of my body is telling me. And I couldn't hold on to it. It's not to say that I don't have any more pain, because I do. But somehow I've been given a reprieve. And you can have that reprieve too. So anything is possible. So that's where I'm at. And I hope that you get to a place like that too. So we'll see. I think, you know, maybe one more year. If I can keep my level and quality of life up, that would be great. I really want to be able to maintain use of this arm, hopefully, this hand, because that's what I draw with and that's what I make all my art with and everything. That's something that I do that takes me away from everything. So let's keep that in our prayers. For you, I hope that whatever it is you're experiencing, that this video helps you, and that, you know, maybe something that I've said helps you or encourages you to carry on. See you next time.